this is going to be a shelf tour. I've had a couple of people, several people, ask me to film a shelf tour. You know, last video I said, I'm going to start making videos more often. And you know what I did? I didn't. I just didn't do that. So now I am deciding, okay, I need to rouse myself from this stupor and film a video, because my girlfriend and I, we worked very hard putting this room together. We've spent probably too much money on the books that fill it. So I read a lot. I like the books that I read a lot, and gonna show them a little bit. Gonna talk about some of the books I have, talk about what's on my shelves. Maybe you can offer some recommendations for things to add to them, because I will way too willingly listen to your advice, recommendations, and, you know, very promptly add them to the shelf. So that's what we're doing today. We're looking at a shelf tour, and it's gonna be a great time. So let's walk around. Let's look at what we have to offer here. We will start with the mustard shelf. We'll save the best shelf for last, just to sort of incentivize what's going on here. So we painted it. It's a metal shelf, and it just kind of has a random amalgamation of books in here. You can see here some Rick Riordan, some Night Circus. We have some other books, just again, a very random. There's a dictionary that my grandma wanted me to have when I was younger, a spelling dictionary. Very exciting times. And then this second shelf down here has two very important aspects. We have the beanies that I always wear. Don't know why I keep them there. And then sort of like a quickly put together TBR shelf. I have multiple quote-unquote TBR shelves, but yeah, we have a couple books I plan to read soon, like The King in Yellow, Goblin, Little Life, some Raymond Chandler, some Dean Koontz, the next Dune book, The Sanatorium. Got a lot going on there. And then if you look over here under our printer, I pretty much converted an old stool into like a two-part shelf, just kind of hide the wires behind my desk. Yeah, not a ton good going on in there. Love me some Dashiell Hammett. We have Maltese Falcon in there. We have the Mothman prophecies. Other than that, some Dan Brown. That's why we're starting with these, so we can get to the good ends. Let's move across the room to the shelf I recently installed above our second floor porch door. So there's the door that leads outside to our second floor porch. And above it, a fun little shelf. So we have a variety of different things up here. Some Shakespeare.
Gotta love Shakespeare.
Some other classics. Camus, Harper Lee. We have, I think, multiple copies of Great Gatsby and Sylvia Plath. Bell Jar. Got some 1984. Philip Roth, Catcher in the Rye.
A lot going on up here too.
You know, we're gonna have to fit more books in here eventually. May as well just line them across the ceiling. So that's what we did. Shelf number 4, fantasy shelf, kind of under construction. It just kind of looks like it's a bunch of Brandon Sanderson with some Tolkien. We got Lord of the Rings in there. We have some Patrick Rothfuss. That's pretty much it. I have more fantasy books than this, but that's just kind of where they are. Also have these awesome ceramic bookends that my sister made for me. I put my bookmarks in the one over here. Then we have another sort of TBR shelf. Ignore that copy of Midnight Sun on the right. I'll never read that probably, but we have a couple books I want to read. We have some King over here with Needful Things and Nightmares and Dreamscapes. We have House of Leaves. We have some Twin Peaks books. We have a little stamp that I never use, which is awesome, that has my name on it to stamp my books with. Very, very fun. Then as we move down here, we have some more sort of classics and other random books. We have The Alchemist, Scarlet Letter, Elie Wiesel, Poe, Catch-22 by Joseph Heller, Harlan Coben, Invisible Man, The Jungle, some Hemingway. Just a bunch of classic stuff, and then just kind of a random shelf down here. some Percy Jackson, and other stuff. The final shelf now. This is the big one, the final shelf, the one that takes up this whole entire wall. Gotta love this one. Obviously, a lot of Stephen King over here. Starts all the way at the top. Got some paperbacks up here. A very small collection of those, as you can see. And then as we move down, we find ourselves looking at my hardback collection. Fun fact, I got this practically for free at my local library. First edition, I don't think it's first printing, but first edition Carrie, which is very hard to find for an affordable price. What else do we have? Just a bunch of his hardbacks. And I love each and every one of them. We got a copy of Creepshow there. Then as we back up a little bit, obviously more Stephen King, whole lot of it. Some of his underrated ones I love, From a Buick 8 and Lisey's Story and Duma Key. We got some others there. I've read most of them, not all of them, kind of working on that. And then as we move down, we got more paperbacks. We have the Dark Tower series. Trying to get those hardbacks. They're very hard to find, all the ones that come before. Wolves of the Kala. eBay, they're like $200 or $300. Then we got more paperbacks here, and then some Cormac McCarthy. Not necessarily the most fun author, but I do love reading his work. Got some indie books that very kind authors on Bookstagram have sent me. Shout out to them. Some Chuck Wendig. Then we have all my graphic novels down here. We have Mouse, we have the Lock and Key series, we have some of the Sandman series, transitions to Kristen Hanna, Neil Schusterman's Scythe series, some other stuff by him. Then we have a bunch of Harry Potter books down on this shelf. And as we move up again, really no organization here. Some Neil Gaiman, a Dean Koontz paperback shelf along with some of his hardbacks. Then we have the Dune books up here. Some Raymond Chandler. I love Raymond Chandler. The old noir books. We got some Nick Cutter. My girlfriend's V.C. Andrews books. She loves those old hardback editions of it. Then we got some Clive Barker, George R.R. Martin, more fantasy, Children of Blood and Bone. And then as we move up, my girlfriend gets gifted one of the big illustrated editions of Harry Potter every year. She's up to 4 at this point. Sneak in some H.P. Lovecraft there. Final ones. Got some Anne Rice. There's The Hobbit. Some Eric Larson. I'm not against nonfiction, but I just don't typically read it. So he's like one of the few nonfiction authors I read. And then Kurt Vonnegut. Gotta love Kurt Vonnegut. Shout out to him. So that's that shelf again. Again, most of it is comprised of those Stephen King first editions on the left side, which is fine. We're not upset about it. We love it. Looks great. That's our main shelf. So other than that, we have a few more up on the wall over here. Some Rhett and Link, Bleak Creek, the Mere Visitor series, some Lee Bardugo. Gotta love it. Those are the shelves. I hope that was a worthwhile shelf tour. If you want to see more videos, go maybe a bit more in depth to some of these specific parts of our book collection here. Always happy to do that. Any other recommendations, you can leave in the comments below. I always say this, I'll try to make videos more often, but no promises. Hopefully you enjoyed the shelf tour today. We'll see you next time.